What's going on, students? It's Emily Cassidy, aka the Scholar, and today I'm joined by a very distinguished guest and a familiar face on the channel. Crow is back from Kingslayer Cards. And Crow, what did you do this past weekend at Summerfest in Duluth?
Well, as my boy Will from last season said, I won 2 OTs, baby. Double first place, man. Day 1 and day 2.
Heck yeah, man. Congratulations. I know it's a crazy run back to be in both positions, and actually different this time around because it wasn't teams back to back. It was teams then singles. So very impressive on your end, bro. Just, keep building that GOAT case. But today we're going to be doing a little interview with Crow, talking about, his Summerfest experience, and just, how everything went. We're going to talk about some men and get some insights to a really, really well-established player and somebody that I respect very dearly. And he's going to give you guys some really, really good insights here today. So let's just jump right into it. So you obviously here we have your list pulled up. This is your Virilga list from the overdressed standard day. What was your team comprised of though for your other two teammates?
All right, so in order for our player A, we actually had Babsagra, piloted by Ubi. Mind you, this was food for thought. This entire team was Team Crow's Nest. So all the guys that was on the team were Crow's Nest members. So Ubi was piloting, Babsagra being in Seat A. Seat B is Kurt's Geo, or otherwise known as Twan. He was piloting Prison. Funny story about that. Nope, he told me what he was going to play, but I thought he was trolling. I thought he was going to play Ava. And round 1, he sat down, he pulled out his deck, he shuffled, laid out the table, and boom, he was like, oh, he was serious about playing Prison. I mean, mind you, our player A did not know anything about what he was playing. So it was like a blind pick. I told him, I said, I trust you to play whatever you feel comfortable with, because we had been grinding like a lot of games and like a lot of matchups. So he was pretty well versed into the field, and a lot of decks that we actually played, like he practiced into, he actually played that day. So I was like, oh, sweet, worked out. And then myself in CC, I played Virgilus, so.
Yeah, we gotta play the boogeyman for number 2 of the format. Yeah, for sure. But no, this is so awesome. So of course I love the title. This isn't Grandpa. But is there anything here from this list that you really wanted to speak on, or do you feel that this is still like your pretty cut and dry standard for what Virilga players should be playing for this current format and for future formats?
Gotcha. So I think Virgilus, for the most part, there's not really too much you can really change. There are some small nuances you can do. There's some people that opt out of running Shinris. There's some people that run Shinris. There's some people that run extra of the grade 3 to Vanguard, which is your other resource card and your counter charger for the deck. There are some people that only runs 2 Persona Rise in the deck. Mind you, I took this deck to Charlie's Primordial Cup. It was an online event, a tournament invitational day he had hosted. And I was piloting this deck. That was my first time actually like fully playing that deck at any form of capacity, because I didn't even play it at locals yet. And as I was playing the deck, I was like, wow, this deck is broken. But I didn't realize I was playing the deck, I wouldn't say wrong necessarily, but I didn't realize that it was a blind going second deck until I started like practicing more. I was like, wait, why am I not just going second? I can aggro my opponent and things of that nature. But as far as like this list goes, I think this is perfect 50 cards as of right now. Now, come next week, we actually get the start deck. So this list is bound to change. Obviously, we're going to get the new order.
Yeah, you get the new, the order. Yeah.
And we also get the new there's another grade 2 that comes in there that helps buying cards as well. That's an optional card, to be honest with you. But the biggest one is getting the order and the new Cosmo Cloud guy. A Cosmog, whatever you call it. It's Pokemon. But neither of that, it's a Flare Mog thing now. It's a Fireball. And what it does is that when you bring back the grade 2 guy off of a Virgilus skill, it comes back for free with it. And it's just the same thing. It restands with it, as long as Ezorf stands. But just being able to get 2 bodies for the price of 3 EB is kind of crazy, and having a consistent booster as well helps a lot. There are some people that do run the Cloud guy in here, but for me, I ran it originally and then I cut it just for an extra Persona Rod and a 4th Shinri.
Okay, sweet. Yeah, pretty cut and dry. Do you have any in particular matchups that you want to highlight throughout the day that you felt were pretty noteworthy, or was everything just pretty cut and dry, just rushing like Virilga does?
Yeah, it's pretty much just go second, kind of beat your opponent out early, put them in a position where you can kind of handicap them, make them burn resources, combo pieces to guard with, so that way you can finish them off on your turn 4. I was killing people on turn 3, funny enough. Most times you don't. You normally kill it on turn 4. The reason why I took this deck specifically is because this deck is the only deck that reminds me of playing V series. Because your deck inherently just has a bunch of shield. Now, I will sit there and say there's 2 different builds where people are opting to either run fronts or draws. It's kind of up to player preference, to be honest, which as far as like the trigger lineup goes, whether you want to run fronts or draws. You're playing a combo deck, so I feel like you should be running draws. Just because you need to see your out knights. If you don't see out knight or alpha knight, I should say, you just automatically lose the game because you literally are playing a vanilla deck at that point. Like literally that one card alone changes the entire deck. I've never seen one card be that broken.
Yeah, fair. Yeah, no, because this card is so centric, man. Like when I read this, when I was finally getting back into Standard, I was like, yeah, this thing's crazy. But no, it's really good. I actually just wanted to ask you a question too, since Standard in a way is kind of shifting. I saw it in Vanguardians the other day of like everybody talking about like how stride decks have kind of fallen back away, and like the general theme of standard decks is kind of changing for what's necessarily strong. What do you think it makes a criteria for a really strong, viable standard deck right now? If you were to take like Bafsagra or Virilga, like what are some criteria that you should look for in other picks to maybe see if your deck is competitively viable or not?
So does your deck has good recursion? Does it have good shield value? Do you have optimal draw power? And can you kill on turn 4? Those are most of the things that you're looking at when you're looking into standard. It took me a while to kind of grasp the concept of standard or how to play standard. Obviously, coming from a V premium and premium perspective, which are my 2 main formats, because I'm not going to lie, I was trying to avoid standard as much as possible at the very beginning when it came out, because I just felt like triggers was just too potent. Granted, triggers are just as potent as it was back then. But I will sit there and say that now you have decks that actually have so much draw power and just insane power lines that, I think that will make the criteria. And also, your deck actually has a solid win con, not something that's super gimmicky, something that's consistent. Like, if you actually look at, like, the vast majority of things with most standard decks, and I just kind of go down, like, a quick list. I'm not going to dive too much into it. Like, for example, Black Mire, you have on your turn 4, you want to go ahead and Divine Skill. If your opponent's at, like, 3 damage, like 4 damage, definitely 4 damage. Your Divine Skill on turn 4, it closes out games very quickly. Solid game plan. You already know what you need to do. Hits high numbers. Most unfair Divine Skill in the game. Turning off Sentinels, gain a crit. You have 4 attacks on that turn as well. You're looking at Bafsagra. She overall just most flexible deck in the format. 1 card alone, again, another broken card. Being able to bomb a board, recursion, good draw power with the shield.
Gain drive +1.
Drive +1. Also, I think that's another criteria. As long as your deck has drive +1, I think that's the biggest thing. Because you look at all those decks, all those have drive +1 outside Black Mire with the unfair, card restrict. But even now, like post set 9, you have Heartluru, drive +1. Yeah, it's pretty much Virgila, but I wouldn't say faster Virgila. It's faster Virgila in a sense because it's more consistent with actually getting the 5 attacks off. Because all you need is just the 4 orders to do the 5 attacks. But the only thing that makes Virgila slightly better is because the numbers hit higher.
Yes, they do.
The early game is about the same, but the thing is Virgila just inherently has more shield. But Heartluru compresses the deck more.
Heartluru compresses the deck more, and they have like rear as I gain the guard restriction.
The game red
that nature. Yep. So yeah, so I think each deck has their merit. I think both decks are very good aggro decks though for the upcoming format. So definitely high things to watch out for. But I just want to again give players that are watching this interview again a perspective for if you're there, they're trying to get their BCS picks ready. What are some criteria that they should look for if they have a plethora of options of standard decks. But definitely, the drawing from the drive +1 and then seeing as many triggers as possible is still a good notion, but also your numbers pretty healthy too. So definitely the same criteria I have in mind for the format. So I'm glad we share that sentiment. Now, of course, you guys get the first place as the team, and then of course it becomes singles for day 2. So we are about to get ahead into his profile. And you took on day 2 the biggest, absolutely like wild pick that I heard when I got calls being like, yo, Crow got first place in Duluth for premium. I'm like, let's go. What do you take? Riviera. I'm like, what is happening, man? So this was an absolute like lowball pick. I don't even think I included this on my prior tier list, not because I didn't think the deck was good, but just because I thought this deck faded into irrelevance. But obviously you proved me wrong and hopefully put this deck back on the map for some folks. So
I did watch your video.
Start this.
I did watch your video. Actually, I watched it this morning. Matter of fact, when I was at work, I had it in my ear. I was like, okay, let me listen to see where you put Riviera. I think you put it in like anti-meta or something like that. And I was like, oh no. I don't think it's the best deck in the format by any means, but it's definitely a solid pick if you want to take it to like a BCS. But yes, Riviera is one of my tried and true decks. Funny story about me and Bermuda Triangle. I am a diehard Shadow Paladin main through and through. I promise you guys. Well, most of my tops have come from Bermuda, which is crazy to sit there and say. Because Bermuda, as much as I want to sit there and say it's not my second best deck or my second favorite deck to play, it is. Because the deck's broken. The clan is broken. It's always been pretty broken. Even back during Limit Break area. But enough about my yapping. Riviera. So, yes, I took Riviera day 2 singles. Day 2 was singles for premium. Obviously, with Summerfest, now either have a Lyrical Cup being singles or premium being day 2. Luckily for Duluth, I got an opportunity to play premium. And like I said, I ended up getting first place with that, winning the nice Dark States OT and a Taizo marker. I think Riviera is in a really, really good spot this format compared to what it was in the previous format with the Crest era. I feel like because Crest was so potent and so fast that Riviera didn't get an opportunity to really shine like that because those decks was just so insane. But now that we're in a different era where we have more loop decks, things that kind of takes a little bit more time to set up, you need to take a deck that's just as unfair as the other decks that you're seeing in the format, such as your Shout Mill, your Fenrir, your Hellheart 8, and things of that nature. That's why I took Riviera. If you win a dice roll, not only are you going first, you're going super first, especially if you see the Selena, which is the grade 2 that allows you to immediately ride a grade 2 while your opponent's at grade 0.
This card is busted.
So if you see that plus Loris, you just automatically win the game. Like, I kid you not. I've won most of my games if I've seen those 2 combos. There are some games where I did not actually see the full, like, ride up line, but it was fine. I was still able to adjust. And I did say if you win dice roll that you automatically win the game. I'm unlucky. I keep losing dice rolls. So I think I lost a total of, let me see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 dice rolls that day.
Bro's watched in the dice roll department, but not in the tops.
So I will kind of quickly go over the deck profile. Obviously, this deck is pretty cut and dry. I think this is a perfect 50 cards. Nothing changes at all. There's 0 adjustments. 4 Riviera, 4 Loris, 4 the grade 2 Riviera, the V1. Do not run the OG one. The OG one's terrible. 4 Selena, 4, I believe her name is Jermaine. The Rod Fixer.
Yep.
4 of the grade 1 Riviera, 2 copies of the Resist grade 1, who also allows you to get into your Riviera. So the whole thing is you want your deck to be as consistent as possible. And then, of course, you run your 4 Courage as well. And then you're running 3 of your grade 0 of V starter. And then you're running your 1 OG starter. Now, as I stated before, all of your grade 1s will get you into your main grade 1, your Riviera name. Now, your ideal ride target is Courage, which is the grade 1 right next to the grade 0. Now, what she does is, just to kind of go over it pretty quickly, is once you ride her, you pull the Forerunner down. And if you have extra copies of the starter, which is why you run extra of the Riviera names, just not even just for her specifically, also because the grade 1 also finds it as well off the top 7 search. If you put multiple copies into your soul, you get to compress your deck 1 more additional card. And then because you actually have multiple copies of the grade 0 in your soul, when you're using the grade 1 skill to keep manually rewriting from your hand, from the hand skill, you get to also draw a card. So you go on +2. So you get the 1 draw plus the top 7 search. Well, it'll go +1 technically, but you net 2 out of deck, meaning that you're compressing your deck 2 more additional cards every single time you have an additional star in your soul, meaning that now you get to compress your deck to the point where you can actually hit more triggers as well, or see more combo pieces. Exactly. And just quickly over the trigger lineup, we're going to 7 crits, 4 draws, 4 heals, and the lyrical OT. Now, I've seen some people ask, okay, why the lyrical OT over like the red, the blue, the purple, the yellow? Lyrical OT is like,
bro, it's a force marker on every rear guard once you flip it offensively, bro. That's cracked.
Exactly. And flipping it at any point during the game is insane. And the reason being why you really want to have a lyrical OT compared to one of the other OTs is because if you go look at Selena, I believe is her name, which is the grade 2, that lets you, yep, that one right there.
Yeah, it recalls itself when the Reverie swings.
Correct. So if you set up your lowest turn, if you go first, or if you go pseudo first, and you still do your history strat and get your 2 force markers, you want to slap them on the side first. She's always going to be 19 to 29, depending on how many force markers you have on the side. But if you hit the lyrical OT, she's going to always be 19 without a marker. So she's going to be 29 with a marker, 39 with 2 markers. And meaning every time you bounce her back and call her back out, she's always swinging for a force marker number, which is also pretty insane. That's why you prefer the lyrical OT.
Yeah, plus it just lets your early rush be so potent too. Like if you check it early and you just have to go into normal Riv, you still just get a lot of aggression that way too.
Exactly. And then just to go into the G zone real quick, pretty cut and dry. I think I'll probably make like one change if anything, but I'll go over that pretty quickly. Obviously your 1 Messiah mandatory, 2 of your history stride. I would technically run 3 Helltrotter, but I only own 2 copies at the moment. To be fair, you never actually go into both copies. You normally end the game off the first one. But in case the game goes long, the third one is pretty nice to have. If you want to make a cut, technically you cut the Anj, because the Anj is the most unnecessary card there. It's nice to have, but or you can cut it to grade 4. Realistically, you only need 2. I like 3 copies for that though, just in case you go into like the Geese matchup and you're liking CB. Tira also helps you to close out games because she's just a very, very high threshold Vanguard that you can go tall with. But like I said, 2 Helltrotter, 2 of the G guard that bounces counterbounce 1, you bounce a card back to your hand depending on what you bounce. Either you can becomes a 30k shield, or you give your Vanguard additional 5k power. Yep, that card right there.
Yeah, card's coded.
It is 3 Tira, 1 Anj, 3 Citron, 1 G Flipper, and 1 Hand in Hand. Like I said, it's pretty cut and dry. We don't have, I believe it was Ellie was the G guard name anymore. So
yeah,
obviously that was the most broken G guard that we had. But I'm gonna go over my matchups pretty quickly as well. So funny story. Round 1, I fought against another YouTuber, Eclipse Ed. You guys check him out when you get a chance to. Shout outs to him. So we sit down, right? Shuffling up, we're talking. Mind you, day 1, he actually interviewed me. He's like, hey, you guys aren't doing an interview. So I did the interview with him or whatever, what have you. Horrible day 2, round 1, I play against him. I was like, oh, nice. So we sit down, we're shuffling up. We get the post one, looked at my hand, I'm like, this hand is terrible. I said, I just need a grade 1. I can play the game at least. And then he goes, no worries. You got the win. Huh? Yeah, I'm going to give you the win. You sure? Yeah. Why? Oh, this is a standard deck right here. Huh? He says, yeah, man, I left my premium deck in PA.
No.
Oh, I see. I see. Okay, cool. He's like, yeah. I said, so after we submit this, do you just want to play a standard game? Sure. Okay, bet. Say less. I got you, man. So obviously round 1, I win. I did lose the dice roll, by the way. So we did play a standard game. I played Youth against him. He was playing Leonor Mask. I think it was playing Mask. Yeah, he's playing Mask. I beat him anyway. So technically I got the dub. The dub was still there.
Real.
Round 2, I played against Vowing Saber. That game was pretty unfortunate. I did low roll that game. He just didn't see pieces like that. I beat him up pretty early, won that one. Round 3, also the Resist Girl didn't even have to come up at all because I just won the game pretty fast. Round 3, I fought against Vanquisher. I did see the Resist Girl, but it didn't even matter because he didn't have any G guards or anything like that because he had to burn them early. Also lost the dice roll again. Won that. Round 4, I played against MLB. Shout outs to that guy. That deck is gas. That junk is funny. Especially now since they have Blast Blade to Vanguard. They go first. They get 2 Vanguard swings. And then on top of that, when you re-ride back to MLB, you get another force marker. So you get to farm like 4 force markers in one turn. It's kind of crack. On top of that, your Vanguard becomes, I believe, a 20k base.
Bro.
Because you get the MLB skill itself. And then plus Blast Blade to Vanguard being in Soul also gives you another 2k power. So yeah. So you're sitting at a pretty high base.
Richard's happy.
Right. Let's see. Round 4, I'll go against Violent Saber. Shout outs to my Crow's Nest guy. Well, actually, he's not Crow's Nest anymore. Technically, he's Kingslayer. Robert Morton. I ended up fighting him. His game was very unfortunate. He kept trying to find a actual grade 3 that he could ride that actually had a marker on it, and he just kept whiffing. And he ended up he ended up drawing into his heel, so he ended up heel guarding with him. And then when he G-assisted, he hit the grade 3 that says when it swings, you soul +1, bind 2 cards from your opponent's drought zone, and it gets 10k.
Oh, he hit the
Of course, it doesn't have a marker on it, so he just like
that's Persona Ride, but
that's Persona Ride, yeah.
But
so he ended up losing that, but he was like, if I lose to anybody, at least it's to you. He says, at least my tiebreaker is really pretty good. Actually, no. I'm sorry. I fought Robert round 2, if I'm not mistaken. I think that was round 2. It was either round 2 or round 5. I can't remember. It was 1 and 2. Neither here nor there. I lost that dice roll anyway. Still won that game. Now, here we are. We finally win the dice roll. Round 6, baby. I ended up fighting against Victor. I ended up winning that. I fought my boy Sharif. Shout outs to him. That game was unfair. I opened the Exodium. I just straight won the game on that point. He didn't even get a chance to ride a grade 3 at all.
Man, that's tough.
Yeah.
That's so tough.
Round, because I did the whole, I go to grade 2 while you're at grade 0. And what's funny is that he was damaged on me, and I ended up top decking the heal trigger from a turn. So I ended up riding Revier, Strode Tail, try to call the heal down, ping myself for a damage, and then hell try to him for game. He couldn't even, it was unfair. Round 7, I played against Marshall. Shout outs to him for getting top 8 as well and going and defeated his twist. He was playing Hell Hard 8. I won a dice roll. Some unfortunate variance happened on my end. His very last draw checks were clutch, which was a heal trigger, putting him back to 4, and he also draw checked the heal guard grade 1. So he was able to G guard with the grade with the heal, and then he still had the grade. And he was also on maximum. So of course everything else got an additional 5k shield as well. So he ended up clutching out with the shield value on that end. I ended up losing that. I did one minor misplay. I forgot about the Messiah skill has to ping before the draw. So always food for thought for the players out there. Make sure you ping yourself for the damage first, and you draw one from that, and then you'll draw another card for turn. Correct. That was on my end, but that was fine. I don't think that was a huge difference, but it definitely could have made things a lot easier on my end. Yeah. Round 8, shout out to Dave from Main Dat Masters as well. Again, one of our Kingslayer guys too. Of course, you know, that's our Nova guy. He was playing Victor as well. That matchup was kind of insane. I did check the OT, which was real clutch in that matchup. I did take that one. I did go first. Now we're going to go into top 8. Again, another Kingslayer mirror match. Kingslayer team kill. I ended up fighting. Shout out to Logan. He got top 8 as well. Me and Logan, for some odd reason, we always get paired in big events and premium. We've never played each other in standard. I always end up winning those out, clutching it out. It was a hell of a game, to be honest with you. He did 6 damage OT, but on his turn, I managed to survive his crackback turn, because he had very little resources because of how much he got pushed earlier. And then after that, on my turn, I needed to check a crit to win the game. I ended up checking a crit, closed it out. He had no more heals left in his deck, so that was GG's there. Especially with the OT also being gone as well. Top 4, I won a dice roll again. I fought Shout Mill. First loop deck of the day. I was trying to fight loop all day. Couldn't find one. Finally found one in top 4, Slaughterhouse. I won my game in less than 5 minutes. Not even joking. I've seen Exodia, won the game. This is the reason why I say if you want to play a BS deck, you you want to fight against BS, play a BS deck that's even more unfair. And Riviera being one of those decks, because actually I went back and watched one of Derek Dow's videos. Shout out to him as well. And one of the matchups he lost to, he also lost to Riviera. Again, Riviera just inherently has a pretty good matchup because all these combo decks, all these Hellhard A's, all these Loops, Mill, Fenrir, they're prone to losing to Rush. They can't deal with aggro because they need all their pieces to combo off. If you prevent them from comboing off and you actually beat them to the punch, you just win the game. So I ended up taking the matchup against Shout Mill pretty fast. That matchup ended very quickly, about 5 minutes, maybe definitely less than 10 minutes for sure. And then the finals, I fought against Highlander. I lost the dice roll there. My guy could not find Reindeer. I think if he found Reindeer, the game would have been slightly different. I don't think he necessarily would have. It could have gone either way. Either one of us could have won at that point. But he ended up riding the Tirograde through, which isn't a bad thing. He did manage to do like El Trotter turn and stuff like that. He did check his OT. I thought I was going to get screwed because all he needed to do is check a crit to win because he was on purple OT and not blue OT. I was like, all right, we live. But I ended up taking that as well, and that was pretty much a wraps for that day. So got a nice Dark States OT for the day. So pretty happy with my results. Back-to-back wins. I'm not sure how many people out there in the world can sit there and say they've won like back-to-back days. I know myself. I know quite a few other people have done it, but I don't think it's been like a whole. I think it's at least a handful, like at least less than 10.
Yeah, because I know Maxime's team has done it a few times for the Springfest seasons of the past. For him, and I know our guy Will did it last year. But yeah, it's a very limited amount. So I'm glad that you could now join that pool and just really again just keep establishing yourself as that you are really one of the real guys out there. But of course, you mentioned a lot of shout outs because unfortunately we had a lot of team kills on that Sunday, but do you have any other shout outs that you would like to give at this time?
Absolutely. Well, first, I want to show this nice little banner that Busherrat gave us as well for Championship Series. Pretty good quality, actually. Can't even sit there and count. But, yes, definitely good amount of shout outs. Shout out to my sponsors, King Sarah Cars, phenomenal sponsors. Always check them out on TCG Player, check them out on our official website as well. Richard Garcia is the GOAT. He's always making great deals with people. Really good with the community, hosting all these 6K events, 1K events, 2K events is out there. So if you haven't been out to a Kingslayer event, hey, check them out for sure. Let's see, special shout outs to you as well for coming back into the scene. Glad to have you back, man. It's been a minute.
Thank you. Yes, it has been, but I'm very glad to be back and still, being able to provide great insights, whether it be for myself or the other wonderful players like yourself in the community. So thank you.
Well, I got a few more shout outs. Shout out to Charlie's Collectible Show, CCS. They're the venue that I host all my Crow's Nest events at, and also where we host our inaugural 6K at as well. Phenomenal venue. If you all have ever heard of Frankenstein's before, or if you've ever been to an anime convention, think about going to a big going to an anime convention and going through the different aisles, seeing all the vendors and stuff. That's pretty much what this venue is. A big hobby collection for Funko Pops, Star Wars, Hot Wheels, TCGs, anything that you can think of collectible. They even have like wrestlers come out and do like signings and stuff like that. They even had Ed, and Eddie come out there, the voice actors, and do like signings and stuff.
Yeah, they have tons of voice actors coming through. I'm synced up on their Facebook and their Instagram, and I see like crazy talent come through just to do meet and greets and sign things and stuff like that. So they're really in touch, and just from the film and I see from you guys hosting the 6K and the different Crow's Nests, it seems like a absolutely phenomenal venue.
Yep, and then my very last shout out, of course, have to be to MetaMats, for providing some of the best quality masters out there. They've been getting like a ton of new material in, and it's been great. And they've been phenomenal to me as well. So definitely looking forward to continuing my partnership with them. So if you guys check them out as well, go to their page, metamats.com, buy some stuff, custom mats, good quality.
For sure, man. Well, thank you again for coming back on. Again, a super major congratulations to your really awesome levels of success this prior weekend. It's just really good to see that your name is still just flown up the top. So, of course, you're not officially washed yet.
No, I say don't. The allegations. See, he's doing it again, guys. I'm washed. I'm cooked.
No, bro. No, you taught the scholar a lot of things, so we'll give you the notion that you ain't washed, my friend. But thank you guys so much for watching. Again, I think Crow will lurk in the comments and answer any questions that you guys have, if regarding any of his builds or his matchups or things like that. But obviously the proof is in the pudding.
Shout out to my boys on Crow's Nest. Shout out to my boys on Crow's Nest. I cannot forget my own boys. Like, what the heck? What kind of team leader am I? What a captain.
Wow. Bro, but the grind doesn't prevent us. Well, I hope you all have a wonderful rest of your day and a wonderful rest of your week. Make sure you guys hit the like and subscribe button as I push my way to 2K. I love you all. God bless and take care.